Well, it's a huge welcome along to this, a massive match. A new chapter to be written in African football. It's the second leg, the semi-final of the African Football League. The winner over the tie at the end of this match will be the first team to ever reach the final of this new and exciting competition. Esperance hosting Wydad Casablanca, a fixture, not only a North African derby, but one with plenty of history. Now looking to write a new line in that. Wydad with the advantage, winning 1-0 in Casablanca. Esperance, once again, as they had to in the quarterfinals, will have to turn it around here in Rades. Well, a warm welcome to my co-commentator. Asamoah GYAN has been there and seen it all, but this is an exciting new tournament. How are you feeling ahead of this second leg?
I'm so happy to be part of the African Football League, and things is going well. This game is going to be a cracker. You know, two teams wants to qualify to the first ever African Football League final, which is they want to make history, and it's going to be great, and that makes it very, very interesting and very, very intriguing. So we can't wait for this game to start.
Well, it was the interim coach of Esperance, Tariq Tabet, who said history will only remember who qualifies. And imagine that's a sentiment that you agree with. It's something that no one will be able to take away. Exactly.
So sometimes when you're watching games, performance doesn't count. You know, winning is the most important thing. And exactly, as an experienced coach, he was a sporting director, he's passed through all the ranks, and now he's here. The interview is a vital thing that he said. I think the most, when it comes to these stages of this competition, the only thing, sometimes the coach doesn't play. You know, sometimes you have to be mentally strong, make sure we don't need a coach, we want to qualify, and that's it.
Well, that's also somewhat what Adil Ramzi of Wydad talked about. The team in the best physical and mental condition will make it through to the final. And of course, the last time these two sides met here, sadly it wasn't a match that finished the 2019 Champions League final. In the end, Wydad abandoning it, and Esperance took their fourth crown. Well, the coaches certainly showing good spirits before. Tariq Tabet going along the Wydad bench, as Asamoah mentioned, came in as sporting director in March, but caretaker since September when Moin Shabani resigned. And Adil Ramzi, who is taking over after a period of instability, leading Wydad Casablanca at the moment, has been very impressive. How have you taken in the work of both these coaches?
They've done incredible work. Coach of Wydad, Ramzi, has done an incredible job. He started in Holland, he went through all the ranks. When he came under pressure, you know, and he's been able to gather the boys, and now it's like he's building a new team, and everything is going well. And talking about Esperance, they also have a new guy who knows the history about the club, and he also knows the players, and he's been able to groom different style altogether. But I think they've done an incredible job until now that we're going to witness the semi-final.
Well, as you mentioned, Tariq Tabet, a one-man club, played for them from 1990 to 2004, 349 appearances, which brought the first Champions League crown of Esperance's history in '94 and 9 GYAN titles in Tunisia. Someone who also graced 2 World Cups, something you know plenty about, and I imagine both coaches do have both experience in Africa but also continentally and internationally. How much does that help them when they're forming these clubs and pushing them forward?
Yeah, very, very important. All these coaches have gone through the ranks, they've played to the highest level, and I think they're going to transfer that experience to the playing body. You know, sometimes you need to share the experience. They will share the experience to them, and they will make the players know when it comes to this stage of this competition, all you want is mental toughness. You know, you have to just make sure it's a mental game, go in and then win. So I'm sure they've been using their experience they had when they are playing, and they transferred it to the players.
Well, as the two teams come out, there's only 2 surviving in the squads who played in that 2019 final. No surprise that Wydad captain Yahya Jabrani was there, along with Ayub El Amloud. Well, that time he played at left back with Wydad captain Abdel Latif Nusir on his flank. So others involved then. There was also the 2011 final, the Champions League. Esperance won that as well. So history certainly doesn't look on Wydad's favour, but their victory in the first leg was their first ever against Esperance. How big will that be in terms of mentally trusting themselves?
And that is what makes the game very, very interesting. Wydad doesn't look good when they are playing Esperance, and they want to break that jinx. They want to make sure they qualify. They want to make sure they make history, and that makes it very, very interesting. Esperance is playing at home. They want to please their fans. They want to qualify, and this makes it a very, very interesting game.
Well, it's certainly heating up. The fans on their feet, as are the band of loyal away supporters, as we saw the reverse in Casablanca. But it's set up for an unforgettable early evening kickoff here in Radez, outskirts of the capital Tunis. Esperance taking on Wydad Casablanca for a place in the African Football League final. Of course, they will, whoever wins this tie, be the first in the final. Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly later tonight will play out for the second spot. But on the pitch, 3 changes for Tariq Tabet. It's a return to the lineup that overturned a 1-0 deficit against Tepe Mazembe. Mohamed Ben Ali comes back in. Mohamed Ben Mida was suspended. He returns. And also Yan Sassi, the Brazilian, with a couple of assists in that win over the DR Congo side. He comes back in. Riyad Bushniba, Osemashila and Ogbelu Onush, the young 20-year-old Nigerian, take their place on the bench. So taking charge of proceedings, it's 3 Kenyans, led by Peter Maweru Kamaku. One from Somalia as our 4th official, Omar Artan. We saw a fantastic refereeing performance in the first leg. We'll be hoping to see the exact same quality once again. It's a really cracking first leg tie, decided by a curling cross from Ishan Bushvian. VAR in attendance. Less said about the 2019 final, the better. So Esperance with the advantage, Wydad with history in their sights. Just the 2 changes. It's another switch between Mohamed Anajem, seeing Montasir Latimi start, and Sufyan Anash takes a place on the bench. It's a promotion for Abdallah Aymoud. He's played 50 minutes as a substitute in this competition. Now gets a starting place alongside Zakaria Drawi, with captain Yahya Jabrani, as ever, marshalling the midfield. Well, Tariq Tabet, his first season as a player came the year that record appearance for Esperance. Tara Diab retired. Now taking centre stage across from Adel Ramzi. 5 coaches since Walid Regraoui left for his Moroccan mission that ended with 4th place at Qatar 2022. And he looks to have stabilised things. And now we approach kickoff. It's his mission to the final, but who will reach the first ever African Football League final? Esperance or Wydad Casablanca? So we're underway. A quick start from Esperance. They have a 1-goal deficit to overcome after losing in Casablanca. Wydad earning their first ever win against the Tunisians. A first leg. They won't mind if they don't win here for the first time. A draw will be enough, or potentially through and away goals. So there's plenty of intrigue in this second leg. How do you see it unfolding, Asamoah?
It's going to be a very, very tactical game, especially Wydad is going to be more offensive, defensive. And the way they've started the game, I can see Wydad wants to try and get a goal as soon as possible. You can see they are not defending; they are trying to play their normal game, and I think it will help them. You know, they don't want to stay back in this game.
Well, maybe it's a case that they've won their last 6 in a row. I guess that winning mentality means come here thinking, why not continue?
Yes, exactly. And when a confident team like that is playing against you, that is where you should be very, very careful. They are not thinking about defending, although sometimes they have to go back. But you can see they are not staying too much back. They try to make sure they get a goal.
As mentioned, 6 wins on the trot in all competitions. Their best run since March, mid-April in 2022, when they won 7. If they equal that, of course, they will qualify for the final in style. They'll be slightly concerned, Wydad. An early knock and ball forward from Teka. It's a little boot out from Usam Gacha. Certainly no intention, but that's a sore one. Jamal Harkness, who made the switch from Raja to Wydad. His scoring performance in that 3-0 win. The second leg over in Yemba. That's the most painful thing he's likely had as Jabrani gets things going. Harkness waits patiently to return. Pushing very forward, Abdullah Ahmoud. What a great opportunity for the 22-year-old Moroccan midfielder. He's been a substitute 2 times, but now he's been put in the start for a massive match like that.
Yes, I think last time when he came on, he did a couple of touches, a couple of dribbling. He created a lot of chances. He did a couple of skills that could have the coach thinks this game will help him because he needs players who can hold the ball. And when you are going, you play away and you don't hold the ball, then you're going to be in trouble. So he feels he could start him in this game.
Certainly a huge confidence boost as Harkness was caught out. Rodrigo Rodriguez, the Brazilian number 9, who had a fabulous header in the first leg. That was well saved by Youssef El Moti. The ball now. Boos ring out, but Wydad certainly won't be overly concerned. Adil Ramsey did say in the press conferences he expected a more open game. We certainly had that to some degree, even though we're so early on. As you said, Wydad aren't coming in to sit in the way that Esperance understandably did in Casablanca.
Of course, it's a mental game. You know, they're trying to. It's a psychological game. They're trying to let Esperance know that we're not scared. We are coming to play our normal football. We're coming to beat you, and that is what they are doing right now. And you can see their confidence level. They are keeping the ball. Esperance is also pressing high because obviously they are playing at home, and this makes this game very, very interesting. Although we've played just 4 minutes, but it's going to be a cracker.
Well, Esperance have lost both their African Football League first legs by 1-0. Their home record, their last 5, 4 wins and a draw, including that 3-0 victory. Though a much tougher second leg of the quarter-final against Tepe Mazembe than the scoreline suggests. As El Moti shows the signs of a frustrated goalkeeper. Neat skills with the feet. Certainly battling down at the man whose goal has made the difference. Hichem Bouchfian curled in a cracking ball that Shirki El Bari made a move for, and in the end whipped past Moe Ben Sharifa. At the moment, it's the match's only goal. So Esperance having to make the early running. Their coach Tariq Tabet said Esperance have no other choice but to win. They obviously have to be careful because anything past a 1-0 win is a single goal. It's away goals could yet see Wydad through.
Yeah, exactly what Coach Tariq said. These kind of games, you just have to go in, although you tactically you have to well, but mentally you have to make sure you are prepared to get it. They don't have any excuse. They have to just go there and win, and that's it.
Great strength from Rodriguez, but given a bit cheaply by Osemteka, but a free kick has been awarded. Doing well to steal the ball. It's a subtle drag, but the shirt pull penalised. Both these clubs coming off domestic seasons last term saw them lose their domestic crowns. Esperance's run of 6 straight titles ended by Étoile du Sahel, despite having gone into the championship round ahead. Étoile firing back. Wydad Casablanca losing theirs to a last-minute penalty on the final day of the season. Asfar winning their first title in 15 years. So both very much starting this season on a mission to retain and regain titles. Of course, for Wydad, losers in 2 legs over the Champions League as Al Ali took an 11th record-extending crown back to Cairo. Charge and run, took it right to the face. Amin Abulfat maybe caught a little bit as well by the charger Mohammed Amin Ben Amida. Oh, it's a sore one. Certainly need attention. Another injury coming from something accidental. Mohammed Amin Ben Amida suspended for the first leg after picking up a second booking in the tie against Tipe Mazembe. They're trying to get medical attention on. Not sure why there's a hold-up. They've certainly been waved on. A little bit of miscommunication.
I think the player is feeling a bit of dizziness after the crash with the knee. You know, we don't want any head injuries. That's very, very dangerous. I think he had a knock and he feels like a bit dizzy. You know, so that is why you can see the treatment over there.
Tariq Tabet certainly would have thought he'd be in this position when he took the sporting director's role. 6 months later, he's in the hot seat after Mouin Shabani resigned. His first spell was an incredible one. Part of the staff that won 5 Ligue 1 titles, 3 with him as head coach. Of course, back-to-back Champions League titles, 2018 and 19. A second spell, despite the continued backing of President Hamdi Medeb, Shabani electing to resign. Some changes, thankfully. Medical attention was there, and they'll need to check concussion, high importance to detect. Now Wydad have to defend this corner. Swung in, just a flick at the front post. Always a difficult one to get on target. Guerra got to the ball first. It's always going to be a tough one to flick that on target.
Yes, it was very, very difficult. I think when you go to the first post, what you need to do is just flick it not to the second post. And I think that was a training grounds work. And I think he went in to go by himself by scoring. And I'm sure his other colleagues will be disappointed because they did that in training.
Touch from Wydad, but Wydad trying to get behind, but it's strong tracking back from GYAN. You're impressed with him in the first leg, and once again seems to be fully focused.
Yes, Wabi had a great game in the first leg, and you could see his presence again. He's somebody who tracks the ball back, tries to win balls. When he has the ball, he doesn't try to lose. He tries to create fouls for his team, and he's a very, very important player for Esperance.
Someone who broke into the first team last year and was obviously picked out as a leader, a captain in the under-20 AFCON in Egypt, as well as the World Cup. Now looking a mainstay at the heart of the Esperance midfield. Esperance top of the group moment domestically. Goal difference ahead of Monastir with game in hand. Long way to go in the domestic season. Of course, Wydad currently find themselves 6th. Focus of the biggest clubs in Africa has been the African Football League. We've really seen how quickly the continent and wider audiences have taken to the competition. It's one that certainly gets your heart racing. Asamoah, the African Football League, it's a great addition to the African calendar.
Exactly, it's a great thing, and everybody is involved. You know, the fans loved it, and personally, I also love it because I was the first player to have a draw in Egypt, and I'm very, very happy to be part of it. And everything is going well. African Football League is one of the best tournaments in Africa right now.
It'll be ever more intriguing next year when it's the full league set up with 24 of the best on the continent. This just an early taster in this 8-team tournament. Esperance go searching how they'd love to snap out this 1-0 deficit, but it's a really good steal. And Wydad trying to make up ground. Well, he's come back in for Lunajem. Antasir Latimi certainly looking to make an impression. That's really been the one position that's very much been up for grabs. Adel Ramsey hasn't made too many changes. It's a lovely turn. I think Latimi will get a free kick. Certainly expects one. A little look round. Mohamed Amin Tugai. Wydad had already had a nibble.
Latimi is doing some couple of runs there. He was able to get a foul. Before that, he was able to take the ball alone, trying to do something up front. And obviously, it's very, very difficult for an away team. But when one player stands out and trying to cause problems for the defense, I'm sure they should see that right side, because they have very good players at the right side that can explore that spaces there. And I'm sure they have to do it.
Chance to steal for Obari. These are the moments when Wydad suddenly have opportunities, as Esperance show a more attacking verve as would be expected on home turf.
And the level of confidence that Wydad is playing in this away game has been very, very impressive. they don't feel any pressure, and I'm sure it's coming from the coach, because sometimes you could see the coach sign, it's just giving them that sign to just calm down. You could see the coach has given them all the confidence in the world to make sure they can play in front of this crowd, and that is a good sign.
Is that also the job for Ramsey, that you're trying to wipe away any thoughts of history? You've never won, so just that you're in the here and now, you're playing well, you're winning. Why would you fear anyone?
Exactly. Sometimes when a coach puts that confidence in the players, maybe there are some discussions. He will say, okay, do this, I want you to hold the ball. When you lose the ball, I will take responsibility. So he puts that confidence in them, and you could see they are very comfortable with the ball. They no panic, they are playing very, very good football. Although Esperance is also playing a very good game, they are playing at home. There hasn't been any shot on target right now, but definitely they'll keep putting the pressure. But I'm still very, very impressed with how Wydad has been able to be composed, and then they are playing.
As we saw the possession stats there, a switch as would have been expected between the first and second leg, but it's very much about what you do with that possession, even if you're only having 30-odd%. So far, Wydad have looked dangerous. Another chance to counter. Usfian out to Mahmoud. It's back inside, comfortable on the ball, happy to just retain it. Esperance are the ones now to fall into their shape. Traoui looks for a neat ball, maybe enough pace on it. Probably be happy enough to give away fouls in the Esperance half.
You could see today Mahmoud has been very, very defensive minded. You know, in the first leg he was always playing like a striker, but he knows what is at stake, so he's more very, very defensive today. I haven't seen him that much today, but I think when they have the space, he's gonna attack that space.
It's always very much cat and mouse at the beginning. Lovely ball though to Zassi. Brazilian back into the starting 11, having been a substitute in the first leg. Of course, a couple of assists against Tepe Mazembe. Certainly a danger man. Stopped there in his tracks. It's Bugera. Thankfully, it does seem like Amin Abdel Fat is okay. Traoui, on occasion, who took a little knock. So it's taking place in the Hamadi Maghrebi Stadium, also known as the Olympic Stadium of Radez. Hosted the AFCON 2004 final that Tunisia won, the one and only crown against Morocco. A certain Walid Regraoui is playing at right back for the Atlas Lions. Certainly not been a happy hunting ground for Moroccan national domestic sides. I'm not sure there was a great deal in the contact, but Mohamed Amin Tougai felt enough to hit the deck. The referee so far, like we saw in the first leg, has been a calming influence, and that only brings out better from the players.
Yeah, he's been very, very great. The referees have been very, very good. They're taking command. And honestly, I would like to congratulate the players, because they've made the referee's job very, very, very easy. And everybody is staying on the field. Sometimes there are contact, they don't fake it, you know. And when you do that, it's very, very easy for the referee to handle games.
Certainly has been, as Rodriguez trying to sneak in behind. Excellent covering from Jamal Harkness, but it will be second Esperance corner. They're certainly expectant. Swung into the near post again. This time it seemed to work as it came to the back post, but the ball back across is not. A little shove on the refs, probably not the best idea. We've just been praising the players. Maybe the commentator's curse. He got a little bit of the break there, but I think there
was a bit of emotion there. The referee overreacted, you know, so the players, you know, Yeah, you could see it right there, and the player had to just. It's one of those things, you know, emotions rises, and I don't think there's any problem.
Youssef El Moti, the little tap of the ball in the head of Ouahabi. As Asamoah says, nothing much to see there. But you saw the coach Tariq Tabet clapping, so even though it didn't end the way he would have wanted, he's clearly happy with the delivery and what they've clearly been working on.
Exactly, it was a good delivery. So you could see their set pieces, you could see their game plan to swing it to the first post, and the delivery was very, very good.
The only surprise really is Yassine Maria has actually made a real habit of scoring this season. He had 3 goals in the Tunisian Ligue 1 last season, 3. He's already got 3 this term, so early in the season. Maybe just caught by surprise with the ball slightly behind him. But most clear-cut opportunity for Esperance. An otherwise tight, tense second leg.
Yeah, you could see, of course, you were talking about Yassine Maria. You could see how dangerous they are in these set pieces. So you could see everything, every set piece is on him. So they're gonna emphasize more on the set pieces because they've scored a couple of goals through set pieces.
It's also amazing just how much space they managed to create for him. He was completely alone as Wydad pushed to the near post to try and deal with the initial threat.
Exactly. I think there is a block. So there's somebody who had to block for him to do it. So every set pieces is basically for Yassine Maria.
Didn't work that time, but it's a concern surely for Wydad. Well, he played it off his face. Still claiming for a handball, Ousfiane.
I didn't know what he was trying to do there. You have your colleague there, just pass the ball. He was trying to go solo, and then you want an infringement, which is no. Sometimes psychologically, referees, when you have your colleague and you try to dribble, sometimes they just get upset and they said, okay, you have your colleague, you want to dribble, I'm not going to give you. Sometimes psychologically it happens.
Little insights, exactly why GYAN's an excellent partner to have in crime as we look on this second leg. So far, an open, shot-shy match. Wydad happy to play the ball confidently out from the back. Ousfiane again looking for something a little more Hollywood. Mida seems to have it under control. It's a lovely little flick to release Ouahabi. Fired in, and it wasn't far away. Saw Rodriguez look as if it wasn't much good to him, but it nipped him behind. The late run almost brought about the goal.
That was a great ball from Sassi. The vision was good. If the player should have been trying and dive or something, maybe he would have, but I think the ball was too fast, and then the field was very, very slippery. So, but it was a great ball from Sassi. Great vision.
So interesting when you see only 2 players saw that pass. Jan Sassi and the man trying to get on the end of it, Usam Gacha, because Abid Fat and Rodriguez were looking as if the ball was going to drift out. And then suddenly see, no, there's real intent.
Exactly. As I said, it was a great ball from Sassi. You know, this kind of balls causes surprise. You know, where he was and the angle and the vision. Sometimes it takes defenders by surprise.
That's exactly why he's been brought back into the starting 11 by Tabet. 2 members of the Samba School of Football, Sassi and Rodriguez. More than halfway through this first half, and as ever, it is very much a titanic battle between 2 North African giants. It's their 10th meeting. Esperance do have the edge, 3 wins. There's been 5 draws between them. All played in Abifat, clears to safety. Wydad Casablanca, of course, had not won in this fixture until the first leg. And they go on, do a historic double. And of course, a draw or a defeat that sees them with away goals enough to see them through, and he would more than happily take a defeat if it means being in the African Football League final.
Yeah, they were happy to take a defeat, and they feel like when they're playing at home, they're going to get a victory, as the coach said and everything. But we've played like 26 and they haven't had any good chance. They haven't had any shot on target. And when a coach, if I'm a coach, I'll be very, very worried. You know, you need to create chances. Even when you miss it, you will be very, very happy with your performance. But if you are playing and you are playing at home in front of fans and you don't create any chances, then you should be worried.
Looking for something. It's a lovely ball and great touch and spin. Tries to link up. A shot deflected. Not sure how much purchase Asamoah was getting on it, but it certainly had Wydad scrambling. We've not seen that too much, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that was honestly, that was a great defending there. That was a great block. You know, the goal was set up and then they had to just go and block. That was great defending.
Great little celebration from Atiatala, combining with Jamal Harkness. The Esperance corner flicked it, and once again, that's where their chances, a little bit of danger is coming.
So I could see why Yacine Maria was disappointed in the first one, because the ball was supposed to be on the first post and then there should be a flick on in the second post. And that is what they've been doing since. They have 3 corners and all has been targeted to the first post.
A bit foul, just managing to keep his feet. The turf slipped under his footing, managed to keep it enough to keep Wydad possession. It's so fascinating when there's a set piece. We've seen 3, they've all been the same, slightly different outcomes, but Wydad haven't found a way to deal with it. It's so impressive in terms of how Esperance have set up that set piece.
Exactly, when you continue doing that, sometimes psychologically the opposition or Wydad might think, okay, next time they're going to change it, and then they're going to do the same. So they sometimes it gets confused there, because when they keep doing it, next time you feel like, are they going to change it or they're going to still do it? And then they'll still do it. So psychologically they get confused there. We don't know what is going to happen in the next corner kick, so we see.
I suppose it's got similar psychology to a penalty kick situation where you think, surely they're not going to go down the middle again. But they might do.
Exactly so.
Great ball, just straining to get there, but thankfully for Wydad anyway, it was an excellent ball down the line. Hisham Bousfian did get there. Miria across to block.
Bousfian is a very, very skillful player and very, very energetic. I think he's one of those guys that can cause problems in this game. He worked so tirelessly in the first game, and today he hasn't been that influential, but anytime he gets the ball, you could see he wants to do something. He's very, very dangerous. That's him right now.
Well, we've seen the best and now the dramatic side of the 25-year-old. Came through at Malaga after being plucked from the famous Mohammed VI Academy. A furious reaction. Thought he was winning the ball. Traoui. Maybe a bit lucky for Asamoah because he lost it under his feet. Traoui certainly not hiding his emotive response. Of course, when you're almost winning it inside the opposition box, you can understand why you'd be frustrated.
Exactly, because they need that chance, and they think they had an opportunity, and the referee whistle. I think it was a foul. He shouldn't have been complaining. He just pushed him, and so the referee gave it. So I don't see why he's complaining. But sometimes, yeah, emotions rises. You are tired, you have to sprint and everything. They have a chance now.
Well, we're going to see. We've had 3 corners, 3 times near post flicks. Are we going to have a fourth? Will they call Wydad's bluff? Rodriguez showing his frustration. He felt he was in the perfect place. But it's a great defensive block.
Exactly. So now let's see whether he's going to put it in the first post or not.
What's your bet?
I still think it's going to be a short corner.
Okay.
Or he's going to put it in the first.
No money being changed in the booth here. So it says near post, and it is once again a little flick. Well, it certainly was a lower delivery, but it's the same principle.
Exactly.
A little flick there. A little bit frustrated, Lugera.
You could see any time things doesn't go well, you could see Maria gets angry because it should come to him, and that is what we've been talking about. He scored how many goals? 3 goals within these days, and he feels like he could still do better.
Certainly corner kicks are Maria's time to shine. Really good play there from Ahmed. Wydad collect again through Draoui, though he's well challenged by Sassi. Maybe needs a little quicker ball from Esperance, but that's a good one to release Ben Ali, backing himself to drive the half of the pitch. GYAN blocking off Teka to take the pressure off Wydad. Both these sides will be looking forward to the end of the month when the CAF Champions League group stage gets underway. The weekend of the 24th, 25th of November. Wydad in a group with one of the teams quarterfinals, Simba, who you were impressed with Asamoah when they played in the quarterfinal against Al Ali.
Yes. Simba was very, very impressive, especially the last 15 minutes of the first half. They were able to play and score, and they were playing in front of their home fans. You see the fans love the club. They always come in their numbers, and when you are playing a club in your own in front of your own fans, you should expect a performance. And Simba hasn't been bad. They've been very, very impressive, especially in the first game.
So Wydad will look forward to a clash with them. Isaac Mimosas, GYAN Galaxy, while Esperance will face a side that took away they'll feel is their Ligue 1 title, Etoile de Sahel, along with Petro de la Hunda and Al Hilal. Coming together there. So one for returning Mohamed Ben Ali. Back in the starting lineup, having on the bench for the first leg. GYAN not in agreement. Happy to get in their defensive shape, but not too deep. They're not dropping anywhere near their own box. And Esperance's chances have come from set pieces rather than from open play. Just over 10 minutes until the break. Furious reaction from Tariq Tabet. Bottom of your picture.
He should be very, very worried about the performance. Right now they are trying to do something better, but they haven't still made any dangerous move in open play. The only time they are very, very dangerous is just a corner kick, that's set pieces. But football, sometimes you have to be very, very dangerous in open play, and that is not what Esperance is doing right now.
Teko with the ball across, searching in particular for the head of Rodrigo Rodriguez. Find him that time. A little bit better. That's given away cheaply. Barry, though, the spin earns the free kick and the ire of Ouahabi. You think Adel Ramzi will be happy so far with the Wydad performance, and of course the scoreline is still in their favour.
I'm sure he's very, very happy, and I think that's the game plan. He wants to keep the ball. You could see their striker Bakri always tracking the ball back to make sure he helps the team. He's running a lot. When they have the ball, they try to keep the ball just to create fouls, to just frustrate Esperance. So I think the game plan is quite working for them. But also what they have to do is to try and do something dangerous up front.
That certainly would put the cat among the pigeons. If Wydad were to score, that would mean Esperance would have to score 3. So as much as Esperance were happy in the first leg to only overturn a 1-0 deficit, they can't really afford, you'd think, in a fixture that's never had more than 1 goal, they can't really afford to go a goal down.
Yes, exactly, and that is where they should be very careful, because their attacking system hasn't been very, very convincing, and they cannot afford to lose, or they cannot afford to concede a goal right now.
And yet, a risk may have been snuffed out in open play, but now it's Wydad's opportunity. Timi come in for Onagem, but they are certainly enjoying their day out in Radez. Is it about to get even better? We've seen 4 Esperance corners come and go. This a first for Wydad, especially when you're away from home. These are the kind of moments you're desperate to make the most of.
Exactly, that is where they have to be more focused and make sure maybe this should be our chance. Whenever there is a set piece, you bring the big guys, maybe it can be their chance to score a goal or something.
We've certainly seen defensive players for Wydad in the goals as someone has hit the deck, and it's Jamal Hartness, one of those defenders, the 3 who scored in the victory over Enyimba. Now we do have VAR, just in the middle of your picture. He's just running, falls over, touches the top of his head, and we don't know what happened between then and there. But Asamoah's reaction maybe tells a sort of story.
This is where the referee's job becomes very, very difficult when there is this kind of situation. You know, he needs to just vary the situation, ask what happened. You know, that is why the VAR is there. You know, so, but for what we saw right now, I don't see there was any contact. It's a normal contact from Esperance.
Well, the ruffle of his hair certainly seems to be connected to his eye. It does suggest, of course, we've not seen all the pictures. He's suggesting there's a slap. From what we've seen,
yeah,
feel
there
like
was
much ado about nothing.
Yeah, there was a contact, but I don't think it's anything serious that we should even bring ice, you know, but but it's fine.
Well, it's only added to the tension before this corner, and Jamal Hartness isn't going to want to have to go off. That's certainly not going to help. Wydad's attempt here is a little cuddle between El Bari and Abdel Fat, and Ati Atala, eventually the man to go across. A starring role for Morocco at the World Cup, and of course Morocco, one of 6 host nations come 2030. Announcement that Saudi Arabia very much likely to host in 2034. But in the here and now, corner kick swung in, it swung across. Best of clearances, but strike comes in, and considering the distance, not a bad effort.
Not a bad effort, you know, the technique. You could see how he struck the ball and everything. You could see he's got that technique, he's got that long range shot, and honestly, the way Wydad is playing, they are playing very comfortably. They are leading 1-0, so I don't think there is any panic, but you could see their game plan is just to keep the ball, and that is what they are doing right now.
So Harkness has recovered, gets back on. It's a lovely ball from Mahmoud, looking to support, but it's just played out of his pathway. Take a biting in. Tabet frustrated. He knows if this continues too long at 0-0, he desperately needs his team to not get stressed. But at the moment, they're not finding the right movements or the right passes.
Yes, when you don't find the right movement and right passes, that is where the frustration sets in. I think they still have time, but what they have to do is to just make sure they can bully the away team, which is Wydad, so that they can give the fans something, because it doesn't look like they are playing to win the game. You know, they haven't created any chances, and it's very, very frustrating for Esperance.
Busfian maybe a little frustrated he didn't take the ball the first time, but did well to spin on it, and he looks to have won himself a free kick.
And that is what we were talking about. When things doesn't happen, the players get frustrated. And as we said, Wydad is very comfortable with the ball, and this is what they want to do. They want to keep the ball, they want to win fouls, they want to buy time, and then everything looks good for them. And I'm sure Ramsey will be happy with what they are doing right now.
President of Wydad, Saeed Nasiri, almost a decade in charge, 16 coaches in that time. The first of them, John Toshak. A couple of repeats with Asamoah coming back after Walid Regraoui left for the Morocco job, having won Wydad the 2017 crown. That didn't last long. Then they went through Benavish, Nafti from Tunisia, Juan Carlos Garrido in his second spell, Sven van der Broek in a short spell. Certainly Adil Ramsey looks like a man who could stick at the role for the long term, as a booking is handed out to Sherki El Barri.
And that was a very silly yellow card. You play in a game like that, and then the team would need you. You don't have to make a silly yellow card like that.
Also, it does think if Wydad make it to the final, the first leg he'd be at risk of missing the second leg. So it's types of things where in the here and now it's a silly one, but it could also cost you later on. Exactly.
You know, there are some yellow cards you don't need to risk and take. You know, there is a foul, just leave and let the player play. You just take a silly foul, and then maybe it might cost the team later when the coach needs you.
Yes, of course, there are times when it's worth taking one. That wasn't the case for El Barri there. And yeah, suddenly realised to move it quickly to Gai. Meria keeps it out onto this left flank. There's time to get the ball down, cutting back in. Bugera driving really well. It's a brilliant tackle to win the ball back for the visitors. There's a flash off the ball. We're seeing a few of them. Abdullah Mahmoud this time. A 22-year-old, under 23 international, but didn't play as Morocco won on home soil the under-23 Africa Cup of Nations this summer. Qualified for the Olympics in Paris next summer. Linked at the start of the season with Toulouse. Very interesting Moneyball style setup. The referee was right on the spot, so I get the feeling he's fully enamoured with the theatrics. Abdullah Mahmoud forcing his way into the starting lineup. Of course, he missed last season's Champions League final after having surgery for appendicitis. Hoping to be a big part of what Wydad hope is a drive to a first Africa Football League final. A rare touch for Moed Ben Sharifa. Come back into the team ahead of Amenala Memish. Highly experienced goalkeeper. The first choice for his country back in the Africa Cup of Nations 2013. Oh, it's a miss there. Meria certainly gets away with it, didn't run kindly for El Bari. Esperance a little bit nervous on the ball. Wydad very calm and collected.
The surprising thing is Wydad is being more aggressive as the away team, more than the home team who wants to score. And I don't know, there is something strange about this Esperance team. They look a bit frustrated right now. They should be very, very calm, and that's what's happening right now. You just create a free kick, and you are making the opposition very, very comfortable.
Certainly a good summation of the first half as we head into stoppage time. Already 1 minute of 4 has been marked up. This man will be absolutely delighted with how things are going, but still clearly demanding full focus.
Yes, he is right to shout on the players, because around this time you cannot lose focus and concede a goal. They just need to have 3 minutes to go to the first half, and that's very, very important instructions by Ramsey.
Let me also explain why Jabrani electing for a short ball with Traoui, now looking to attack a different angle. See much of Ayoub El Amloud, certainly a little bit more focus on defence, but once again showing his desire to get forward. It's never nice to see the call for a card, but Abbey certainly feeling frustrated. Esperance getting on with it. Ali puts in a ball, gets the deflection. This is when we don't have to be careful, because Esperance might not have been producing the performance they wanted, as you can see by the stressed look of Tabet, but a goal would change this tie enormously.
So first post or second post?
I'm going second post. Let's mix it up. Let's see what Yansase has for us. Kind of middle. I think pretty.
It's the near post. So that's the game
Trying
plan.
my best to drag it further, but I can't deny it.
But they look very, very dangerous in their set pieces, and if they continue doing that, they can even try and change their tactic to have more set pieces to make sure because open play hasn't been that impressive. So they can change the plan B to more set pieces to be able to get a goal, something.
But also, I guess you can see by how many Wydad players are coming across, they're having to put so many players in at that near post. Esperance don't even need to win the flick, as the ball this time does comfortably end up in the hands of El Moti. Very big relief for Casablanca side. I imagine it constantly creates panic and space, and in the end any flick on will do if it ends up at the right person.
Exactly, that's what they have to do. Just get one player to just do the flick on, and then it can cause something.
They've caused a stir, but no end product otherwise, other than the set pieces. They have looked relatively comfortable considering their record here in Radez. As the first half comes to a close, Wydad Casablanca came to Tunisia with the lead, and they can maintain it. It's goalless at the half-time break of the second leg, the semi-final of the African Football League. So a first half that has seen a Wydad side look supremely confident. Esperance's best opportunities certainly come from their set pieces. Puff out of the cheeks from Jabrani. Not been an easy afternoon's work But overall, Wydad will be delighted with how things are going. A few words of advice from returning from injury, Bula Sambu, for the young Abdallah Ahmoud. And he and the rest of the Wydad contingent very happy, but it's still very much on a knife edge. Esperance with the all to do and the threat of the away goals rule. As mentioned, a Wydad goal would see Esperance needing to win by 2 clear goals. But as it is, goalless here in the clash between North African giants. It has never seen more than 1 goal between them. How have you assessed the first half, Asamoah?
First half has been very, very frustrating for Esperance, because obviously they need that goal. The coach said they need the goals, and I think the way they are playing hasn't been that encouraging, and Wydad should be very, very happy with their way they were more composed. Although in the ball possession, you could see 63% from Esperance, but they haven't created anything in the opening play. And I think it's a fair result right now. 0-0 is a fair result.
So no goals. The tension is very much as high as ever. The second half that promises drama and potentially extra time and penalties. The fans out to their number. They desperately want to see their side into the first African Football League, but at the moment it's the small band of away supporters who are looking to celebrate a historic moment and then worry about the second semi-final. Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly playing out for the second position in the final. So it's the second leg of the African Football League semi-final between Esperance Tunis and Wydad Casablanca. Fixture with so much history. A tense classic awaited. There's never been more than a goal between these sides. Wydad Casablanca's first win over Esperance in the first leg meant they held a 1-0 advantage. There were a few knocks and bruises. I mean, Abdel Fattah thankfully able to continue. But Esperance showed a neat trick at corners. Didn't come off for Bouguera that time, but it would prove a worry for Adel Ramzi's Wydad. Youssef El Moti didn't like the attentions of Gate Ouahabi. But Meria, already 3 goals this season, still waiting for the first in the African Football League. And then a wonder ball from Jan Sassi. It's a rare chance from open play. Houssem Gacha just couldn't read the flight of the pass. Brazilian's brilliance not turning into a tying goal. Corners again, the threat. This time the flick, the near post from Bouguera, going harmlessly wide. Focus very much on that near post. Bodies in and about for the second ball. Wydad had won 6 in a row coming into this, their best run since March, mid-April 2022. They won't need to win to make it to the final. Draw or an away goal could yet see them through, but Esperance know they must score. Goalless at the break. Well, welcome back ahead of a vital second half, the final quarter of this semi-final between Esperance de Tunis and Wydad Casablanca, and it's the Moroccans who still have it in their hands, leading by this man's solitary goal in the first leg. Bousfian with his curler, the decoy of El Bari that sees Wydad with the slender advantage on aggregate, goalless as it is in Radez. Doesn't appear like there's been any changes as yet. I'm sure Adil Ramzi and his opposite Tariq Tabet will have plans in place, especially if they need to change something around. For the moment, it's very much a stalemate. Wydad Casablanca have looked very comfortable and confident, while a little bit more defensive. We haven't seen the bombing fullbacks. They've still not fallen too close to their own goal, and that's made a real challenge for Esperance to try and play through them. They really haven't got at Youssef El Moti, but set pieces may yet be the key. So 45 minutes, if it's all square on aggregate, which will only happen with a 1-0 Esperance win, we might go to penalties, but otherwise it's as you were, goalless Wydad Casablanca, 1-0 ahead on aggregate, and getting us underway in this second half. What do you expect from this final quarter of this semi-final to go, Asamoah?
I still think Esperance body language is not that encouraging. How they even started the game, sometimes praying to go straight, do something, but they still feel that calmness, and maybe that is their tactic, but I still don't see that energy that they are losing. They don't feel that sense of energy, urgency that they want to win the game, and that is why I'm a bit confused right now, but maybe it's their strategy, and they are making the game very, very comfortable for Wydad.
Whether they have a trick up their sleeve, of course, just the day after Halloween. At the moment, it's Wydad who are ghosting their way to a first ever African Football League final. A chance to write their names into the history books. Of course, that joy will then be swapped for being desperate to be the first ever winners. They won't want to get too far ahead of themselves. It's a long, hard half to go. It's a great turn and run. Sassi didn't really make a decision. Now charging out from the back, Latimi. We saw him do this a couple of times early in the first half. And then more from Bousfian. The ball maybe didn't have to go too direct at that point.
Yeah, he should have at least kept the ball, and he shouldn't try and force those kind of balls. At least he should try and protect the ball, get some fouls or play some touches there, but he decided to risk it. And when you do that, the ball comes back to you. And I like the way they run to just recover and to make sure they start it once over again.
Ball lifted forward towards Rodrigo, but the Brazilian was spinning, just trying to see where the ball was going to land. I did say this before in a previous match. It takes confidence not to release the ball, because at that point he wasn't under pressure, but he tried, Latimi, to play an expansive ball when he could have just stood on it.
Yes, and that is where the experience counts. Sometimes you don't need to just give the opponents the ball that easily, because you are playing away. The game plan is to keep the ball, so why don't you keep the ball? Don't force it.
We did see Adil Ramzi's reaction, may have been somewhat fiery, but for the moment, 46-year-old coach born in Marrakesh will be absolutely delighted, not just how his side set up in playing, but also, as Asamoah has alluded to, the tentative nature of Esperance's performance. They haven't really brought any fire or brimstone for the moment. It's Wydad who are heading towards the African Football League final.
What Esperance should do is to make sure they keep the ball very, very fast on their toe. But the build-up is very, very slow. They don't look like a team who wants to score a goal. But I hope they get a goal so the atmosphere can change. You see, this is not the Esperance fans I know. They have to make sure that the fans get on their feet. The possession-wise, they are doing very well possession-wise, but it's not something that effective. They have to just lift up their game and pass the ball very quickly.
Sassy adding a little bit of pace in there. Rodriguez looks to spread it. Touch from Bugera, has support and uses it as a decoy. It's a good ball in. Lamotti gets a good enough distance on it. Teka keeps Esperance on the front foot. Gets it back from Ben Ali. Two of them getting plenty of touches, and Wydad will be relatively happy. They forced them back to Meria.
Now they are trying to do the needed for the last 1 minute that they've been passing the ball, and this is what we want to see from Esperance. They are doing the right thing right now.
Better play, Rodriguez getting it out and then slowly striding into the box. The ball just not quite close enough to the Brazilian, and El Motti mopping up. It's brought a little bit of life out of the fans, but you're right, there's only so much support can do without being brought to life.
Yeah, this is what the fans want. Do something, create a foul, do something for them to see that sense of urgency. But if you pass the ball slow, and then it looks like everybody will want to sleep in the stadium. So just keep the ball moving, try and make the defense work, put something in the box. Try different things, and it will make the fans even support you at the stadium.
You can certainly see from the corner kicks. Certainly, Esperance did get a little bit of panic, a little bit of uncertainty from Wydad. They just haven't been able to do it in open play.
Yes, and that is the problem right now. They have to make sure they create something in open play. Although we all know when it comes to set pieces, they are very, very good in set pieces. They look very, very dangerous. But the open play, you play, that is football. You have to make sure you become very, very dangerous in the open play. And that is what we haven't seen from Esperance right now.
Rodriguez not happy, although I'm not sure why he doesn't seem to remember the little nudge he pushed out into Debrani. Frustrations of a striker starved of access. Protecting the ball well, Mahmoud. Wydad happy to just keep a bit of possession and frustrate their hosts. It's a rare good day out in Radez. Have been draws. Otherwise, they've had painful trips here. Of course, losing both CAF Champions League finals against Esperance in 2011, controversially in 2019. Wydad, though, were looking themselves, as Esperance did, to do back-to-back Champions League crowns, despite a 2-1 loss in Cairo. Brought them an away goal. 1-1 draw for Al Ali. Thanks to Abdel Monem. Saw them celebrate in Casablanca. Are Wydad going to have dates with Esperance followed by Al Ali? Mamelodi Sundowns will certainly have something to say about that. But plenty of intrigue, plenty of worry. Tasir Latimi on the stretcher, although not to really read exactly, but he certainly looks uncomfortable, and very quickly a change is going to be made. Hamdou Mohamed El Ouni, well, what a story he's got. He was part of the Esperance side in 2019 to beat Wydad to the title, although of course the match in the second leg here was abandoned, and now he's turning out for Wydad Casablanca against his old side.
And you can see the whistle and everything. Sometimes it's good like that, it makes football very, very nice, and no hard feeling, but they feel like they've played there before. He's going to the opposite side, and he's a special player. He's a good player, so we'll see.
Well, he's looking to do something special there. That would have been some entrance had he managed to kill that ball. Esperance managing to deal with the situation. Certainly, Latimi didn't look happy about going off, but the change was made swiftly and may have already been one that Abdel Ramzi was thinking about. He has often switched about that right attacker. Ayub El Amloud to Draoui. Much more disciplined performance from their usually bombing fullbacks. Wouldn't imagine you'd be too surprised that the fullbacks haven't been at their normal attacking.
Exactly, they are being more cautious, and I think it's the right thing to do when you are playing away, because you cannot leave your position like that, and when you do that, the home team is going to exploit it, and that is what Mabloud is doing right now. But once in a while, like the way he had a penalty against Yimba, once in a while he just try and do that run. He did it today, but just once in a while. But I think tactically, Wydad has been very, very, very impressive tactically, and that is what they are doing.
So far, it is working perfectly. They don't have to come here and win. At the moment, the scoreline is suiting them perfectly. Esperance, the ones needing to force the issue. Not getting a lot of momentum. As you said, they've had a lot of possession. There's not a lot of incision or pace about it.
Yeah, I like what you said. They have to force the issue. You have to force the issue because they are not doing it. That is the only problem. As we said earlier, there are some games you don't need a coach. It's mental. Try and bully the opponent. You are playing at home. Take charge, take responsibility. And I'm not seeing it in their body language, the way they are passing, the way they are moving. There's something strange. I don't know if it's tiredness or something, but I don't see the experience I used to know.
This does seem to echo what Ramsey was saying, that the best team mentally and importantly the condition of the players will make a massive difference. And that is one factor. Wydad look a lot stronger.
Yes, and even the way they are possessing the ball, it's a good thing. You know, they are very, very calm on the ball. They have the confidence, but they should feel that sense of urgency. That is what I want to see.
I guess the worry for Esperance fans will be you don't want it to come when it's the last 50 minutes and you're just having to lump it forward. At the moment, they have time to try and be incisive, and that was at least an attempt to try and fire it into the front man.
Exactly, and when you wait to the last minute, that is when your opponent will start frustrating you. They will just try to keep the ball, create fouls, and then that is where the confusion starts. That is where the anxiety and everything starts. You know, they have to just do something like what they are doing now.
Better ball through the lines from Sassi. Forward run though from Abi. Had a look back, didn't see anything coming, but it was a decent enough ball across, but a tough one for Osam Gacha to catch and cross. Meria in conversation with Mohamed Amin Tugai. Worries for Tabet and Esperance. Pressing the ball better here. Didn't want to wait for El Moti. Cleared away. Rodriguez trying to make a nuisance of himself. Important header there from Meria. Coolly playing it out onto the flank to Ben Ali. Bit of a stir with the fans. They were happy with that. Sassi's ball wasn't great, but it was picked up well. Just all a bit untidy. Wydad can break out. One of the rare times we've seen Atiatala released. As Asamoah mentioned, it's more about picking their moments, the fullbacks of Wydad, for when they might create that attacking overload.
Exactly. So they are waiting for that space to attack, and I like the way Esperance is doing right now.
Sasse had a great opportunity to find his countryman. Just passed it to white shirt instead. Is Ahmed screaming for it, but it goes down the line to El Bari. Big striker does well initially. Went down dramatically. Not sure if it's a throw or a free kick given. Certainly holding the back of his thigh. Well, this is the substitution we saw in the first leg, and it's a chance for young Keba Sow to come on. Is almost an apology from Bugera as he heads off. Or Bugera, I should say. Algerian Houssem Gacha heading off. You weren't too happy with Sow's positioning when he came on in the first leg. You hope to see him, especially with Esperance needing a goal, to stay in the width of the 18-yard box. Exactly
what I want him to do, but he seems like he likes to go back and involve himself in play. He's trying to be like the number 10, but maybe that is the role the coach has given him. But a player like that should be in the box. He should be the target man, not to be playing. Especially even in this game that they have that sense of urgency. You need to play the ball in the box because he's very huge, and sometimes you need to change something.
It does look like they might try and play Rodriguez and Sow up against the Wydad backline. Can that create space for others as well as the strike comes through? And it may not be a dangerous one for El Moti, but it's at least a sign of action.
At least that is what we were talking about. You have to force something, force something to the opening. Just shoot, it can change something. Let the goalkeeper make a good save. It can change the atmosphere. It can bring the confidence or anything. Something like that is a very, very good thing for Esperance. They have to keep on doing it.
Well, in credit to Tarek Tabet, he has made the change with a half an hour to go plus stoppage time. Interested to see if more changes are coming, but they are absolutely loving their evening out. Looney having joined them now. Wydad, for the moment, continuing a path towards the African Football League final. Touch there on El Looney. Away and danger, but Abi protecting the ball back to Meria. Ben Ali down the line. Brilliant, tenacious defending. This winning the ball and then charging back to retake his centre-back position alongside Abu Fat. You can just see already the change. More bodies forward for Esperance. Also means more space potentially for Wydad, especially when the ball breaks. Bousfian. An easy decision for the referee. I'm not sure Abi will be too unhappy, especially he's got away without a yellow. He doesn't think it's a yellow.
I think it's a tactical foul. He tried to stop the game, which is I think it's a good decision by the referee.
So I imagine it takes into consideration where it happened. There were players around. He's having to track the run of Draoui. Strong, aggressive. He certainly has been effective both defensively and attackingly, especially. There's a couple of opportunities to shoot. He's been the one taking it on, even if it hasn't brought dramatic result. Yeah,
he's doing his job. He's trying to do what he has to do. He's been very, very influential, and but football is a team performance, not an individual. But so far, he's doing what he had to do, and I think he's the best player in the Esperance team.
inspire those around him. A young man who's already captained underage level his national team. Ramsey instructing from the sidelines. Tabet just waiting for someone to provide a moment of inspiration, but the Esperance fans can be accused of not doing their job, rousing themselves as they know how important it is, this final chapter to be written in this semi-final. It's only a goal difference, so despite a very challenging first 64 minutes, they're still very much in this.
Yes, as I always say, 20% of football comes from the fans. When you are in the stadium, the fans cheer you up. It gives you something, you know, and you can see that is what they are trying to do, to lift the Esperance team up. And when they do that, and they can do something. But the way the body language and everything is not that encouraging. You know, they have to give the fans something to be able to have that energy to cheer.
In that sense, Wydad will be absolutely delighted, because every other time they would have come here, I'm sure it wouldn't have been quite like that. Esperance maybe just missing a little bit of belief, which is odd considering they were understandably happy with the first leg result, given that overall there's only one goal, they were taking it home, but they've not really come here with the bit between their teeth.
Yes, they were more defensive in the first leg in Wydad, and this second leg they thought they're gonna do something positively. They've been able to possess the ball, but they are not that fast on the ball. You know, the ball has to move quick movement. They have to put ball behind the defense, but you don't see this, and it's been quite frustrating for Esperance. Although they have a good team individually, they have a very, very good team, very, very great good players. They can change. They can still come in the game and change something.
A sign of worry potentially for Esperance, with last year's Batola top scorer Sambu warming up, but that's a great ball in, and it all changes on the cross of a ball. Rodrigo Rodriguez gets the first cross he can really get his teeth into, and he is taking a chump out of the aggregate, and it is all square in Rades.
That was a great delivery and great finish by Rodriguez. In the first leg, he had a great header. The goalkeeper made a great save. I remember we said he should be very, very good with the head, and that was what he did. The direction, everything was on point. Great goal by Rodriguez.
Well, he's come to Africa after a long career in Brazil at home. Left Juventude, club of Danch, plays now at Nice, but he's come here to Esperance and he's headed them back level in this tie. Fabulous delivery from Asamoah Bukera, and suddenly the questions will now be asked of Wydad. Ermati had absolutely no chance, and it's the Brazilian samba beating the drum for Esperance.
This is what we were expecting. This is what you should do. Put the ball in the ball. Do something. And they just did once, and they had a goal. Hopefully there is more to come.
Well, they are certainly emboldened. Asamoah spoke about you need to give the fans something. Well, Rodriguez Silva has certainly given them an awful lot finally. But it was from a dangerous ball swung in, and he was picked out perfectly. And this time, as opposed to the first leg, he didn't have to put any pace on the ball, and it flew past Ermati.
Exactly. I remember Wydad's goal came from that side, lifted in. There was no touch, but this time there was a great header in this game.
So it is really one apiece. Absolute symmetry. Now it becomes even more interesting. Wydad know a goal would give them a huge lift with the way goals rule. But a ball back in. Sau was having a look for it. Rodriguez calling for his countryman Sassi to pick up.
That is a real centre forward. He should have gone the ball, but he left it to go in the box to finish.
Switch of play. Bugera, 1 assist already, but this time Amida is blocked. And a corner kick, and well, we've seen Wydad have struggled. As Tabet calls for Cam, and that is a risk. Esperance don't want to get too excited because a goal against could be curtains.
Exactly. That was a good instruction by Tarek. That was a very, very good instruction. You don't need to get swollen-headed because you score goal, you want to score. But hey, it was a good instruction by the coach. You don't get swollen-headed. Just stay focused, maintain the lead, and maybe hopefully you can get another one.
Esperance waited a long time to wake up. But it's not if, it's when. And now 21 minutes. This semi-final has really come to life. Another wicked delivery. Out goes Maria. He wants to be in the box, but keeps it alive as the ball lofted in. Both strikers going for the same ball. Nice Hartness to get it away. Wydad under some severe pressure. It's a really good header. Bugera gets it out of his feet. Back onto his right. Swings it in. Very good header away from Tiatala. Teka keeps it alive. A totally different Esperance now. Swung in, but El Moti able to collect. But we're finally seeing that urgency and a bit more positivity from Esperance.
And I think Bugera is doing something great on the left side. He always comes in on the right, and then you have the in swing, and it's working for them. They had a goal like that, and he's been doing it since, and it's been working for him. Why don't they do it more?
Surely going to be focused on that now. They've got 2 big strikers to look at. Rodriguez has already been decisive. His first goal, a 4th African Football League appearance. But now Wydad look to their own goal machine from last year. Batola, top scorer, 13 goals. Boule Sambu. Also Mohamed Onajem. Short spells with Zamalek, but back with his first love. El Bari, not too delighted, but surely understand at this point Wydad needs some energy and a little bit of threat up front.
Yes, they need it, and he's a very, very good striker, and I'm sure he's gonna stretch a bit the defense to make them a bit worried to stay back, and I think that's a good substitution by Ramsey.
So Ramsey making the changes in the same sense as Esperance not wanting to get too excited. Wydad don't have to panic either. We always knew they might need to come here and score a goal, or of course at the moment this match is heading for penalties. Only in the final will we have extra time and spot kicks. At this point it would go straight to penalties unless we see another goal from either side.
It's a very, very tricky. One coach can say, okay, let me get a goal to get a away goal victory. One coach will say, let me maintain it. When you maintain it and you concede, is it going to look good for you? Or when you try and score and you concede, you still have a chance to come back to win still with an away goal. So the coach has to think about that, and I'm sure there are a lot of things going on in his mind.
I guess that's the difference between those who make it and those who don't on the touchline. It's the fact that everyone's a manager in their own home on their sofa, but in the heat of battle, can you make the right changes, the right adjustments that will make the difference?
Exactly. We are thinking a different way. That is why you have your staff there. Somebody can bring up with a suggestion, and there are a lot of things going on the bench. Only the coach doesn't make decisions. There are a lot of staff there. There are a lot of things going on the bench, and that is why it's very, very, very difficult to be a coach.
The booking handed out to the returning Mohamed Ben Ali. Ben Amida, in fact, who was suspended after picking up 2 bookings in the quarter-finals. Onajem, who now is on that right side, the ball in from El Ouni. Good call there from Harkness. Well, they didn't manage to keep the ball in. Did well to get to the ball, but the distribution not quite there. So it looks like a sore one for Abi. This is where, as we said, coaches earn their crust, Tabet, conversation. But young and old out for this historic semi-final, the African Football League. It shows on the faces of the coaches and of the fans in the stands exactly what this tournament means. Best of Africa facing off this year, an 8-team tournament. Next year, real glamorous league event. But for now, who can inscribe their name as the first finalist in the history of the inaugural African Football League? Changes afoot. Made his debut in this competition for the club against Tepe Mazembe. First start in the first leg. Belu Onush, just 20 years old, a Nigerian, certainly has been impressive, and he replaces another impressive youngster, Abi, giving him a G up as well as the fans. He's certainly done his job. Both coaches looking to their bench for final pieces in a puzzle they hope will end with a place in the African Football League final. Esperance Tunis finally finding the breakthrough. We are all square. Will Wydad now start to think of their previous visits to the Olympic Stadium in Rades? It's not been a happy hunting ground. Of course, the 2019 match never got to a completion. 1-0 officially on the night, as it was the previous time in 2011 when Esperance took the Champions League crown. The second time in their history. One goal. Only once have Wydad left Esperance without conceding. As they met in the group stages of that 2011 run. And it's all getting very testy. So much at stake. As we were mentioning, it's not just the physical nature, but the mental side that will surely decide who will go through to the final.
Exactly, the mental side will determine who will go through the final. And around this time of the game, that is where it will show. There are a lot of anxiety, there's tiredness, frustration, and that is where chances can get in, you know. So the more focused team, the more mental toughness team can carry the day.
Looking back over the Rodriguez goal, it was so close, couldn't miss, and yet what a chance now for Onajem, but he had options. Look at the reaction of his teammates. Absolutely furious with the substitute.
They will. I'm sure Ramsey was also furious. You had like 5 players supporting. You did a great run. Just set it up for your player to finish, and he decided to be a hero, which I think he should be very, very disappointed, and his colleagues are very, very disappointed. You know, sometimes you need to try solo, but not at this stage that you have 5 players waiting for you.
Especially with the stakes as they are, a goal for Wydad could effectively end the tie. The away goals rule mean Esperance would then need to win by 2 clear goals, and with just 12 minutes to go, could be lights out, and yet he's gone himself. If you do it, you've got to score.
Exactly, that is why you need experienced players to make sure they get the job done. You know, in this kind of games, at this time, you need experience. And he should be very, very disappointed with that chance.
Surprise from long-time campaigner. Just showing age isn't necessarily a deciding factor in experience. Tried a little back heel, but ended up just taking the coach out. Quick feet shown by Adel Ramzi. Of course, a player in his own time, particularly in Europe. Two-time Eredivisie champion with PSV Eindhoven. Currently top of that league at the moment. Amazingly, Ajax rock bottom.
Amazing. For the first time in most of the decades, I've seen Ajax in the bottom of the table. That's never happened, and I don't remember.
This is certainly an odd occasion. Adel Ramzi, having been in the academy as a coach and then 6 years with the under-21s, has certainly shown an awful lot learned in that time in the Netherlands. At the moment, he's going to have to really lean on his experience and also his coaching staff to try and see Wydad through what is a very tough final 10 minutes and potentially penalties.
Although he hasn't, Ramzi hasn't been that experienced in the higher level, I think he's gone through the ranks. He's been the under-21 coach for how many years? 6 years. So I don't think you have a chance now.
Well, this is broken kindly. It might have been a foul. The ref playing on, swung in. That's what Onajem wanted to do at the other end. Much better execution for Bugera. And El Moti comfortably over. Trying to curl it. Just didn't really have the pace or the height.
Bugera has been one of the players that when he lifts up his game, the teams go up. You know, the first half he was a bit quiet, but the second half he came on trying to come in and then give that cross in swing, and things are working for him now, and he's driving Esperance team right now.
He certainly already had a major part to play, as mentioned. Swinging in the ball, Rodriguez just couldn't pass up. Applause from Ramzi. Can Wydad create a tie-defining moment? Wash away all the pain they've felt here in travelling to face Esperance in Tunisia. Instead, it's the four-time Champions League winners who find a really nice route out. Flooding bodies forward. Deep cross. Rodriguez was looking for it. It's a really good defensive header from Jabrani. Oh, it's just hit the back of Sambu's head. And a poor ball out, and Wydad, who up until the goal been comfortable and quite smart in possession, there's suddenly a little bit of stress and maybe a bit of tiredness coming in.
Yeah, there's a bit of tiredness, and for some strange reasons, I still feel Esperance are relying on penalty shootout. Though I think maybe their goalkeeper is very good in saving penalties.
It's a really good ball forward from Ogbelu Onush. That got Esperance on. It's turned out to be a road to a corner. The fans are certainly in fine voice. El Amloud and others. There's a certain amount of stress now for Wydad. Been here before. Tarek Tabet's side turn this around as they did against Tepe Mazembe. Houssem Teka swings it in, it's flicked to the near post again, driven in off the post. Well, Moti scrambled across, bailed out by the woodwork. Unfortunately for the visitors from Casablanca, it didn't fall to a shirt of red and gold.
Again, the corner kick in the near post, causing problems for Wydad.
Well, could have been it. Sassi, maybe if he hadn't slipped, might have got a cleaner.
That was a great save from the goalkeeper.
between goalkeeper and post, keeping them out. But maybe if he hadn't slipped, maybe he would have got a cleaner strike on the ball.
That was a very, very great save from the goalkeeper. He did so well to save the team.
You need a strong goalkeeper, and as you mentioned, certainly with the potential for penalty kicks, certainly be something they'll be worried about with El Moti now feeling a bit of a strain. Tabet trying to rally the troops from sporting director to the dugout. At the moment, he's got Adil Ramzi's Wydad. A bit of bother.
Now we are in a very, very crucial moment, and this is when the pressure arises. You know, whether you should keep your goal, whether you should defend, whether you should play your normal game. You know, there are a lot of things going on because you have about 5 minutes to the end, and with extra time. You know, so this is where the pressure mounts.
Such a big moment. Wydad surviving. Thanks to El Moti. Thankfully for them, he is back on his feet. As you say, Asamoah, is it stick or twist for both these sides? They're both in the same boat to some degree. Esperance, no conceding would be an absolute disaster. For Wydad, a goal certainly would likely see them through to the final. They too don't want to concede again. One ball launched, time to chest and then send it back down with interest. Mahmoud does well to smuggle it to Draoui. Nice football from Wydad. Get a free kick from the bundling over from Onush.
This is where experience counts. Whether you have to know how to manage the game. Both sides have been very, very cautious. They want to be very, very cautious so that they can protect their goal. And if there is a chance, they will get it. But I'm sure everybody wants to be very, very cautious to protect the goal.
We took a chance there. He's been neat and tidy throughout, but on occasion lost the ball, but not to great bother. Although now Bouguera just didn't quite get the angle of the ball, and he's slightly worried, just holding back of his thigh. Certainly don't want to see his hamstring go.
I think he feels some cramps there. I don't think there should be any problem. I think he's feeling some cramps. That is why he should be very, very careful. You know, anytime you feel cramps, try call, and then they can relax the tie. But if he tries to move, he might have a problem or a tear or something. So that is why he should be very, very careful. Bouguera is a very, very important team for Esperance. I hope he still stays on the field.
Some movement on the sidelines. Did see Amenala Memish, who had come in after the first leg of the Champions League qualifier in place of Ben Sharifa. Maybe we're looking at a penalty kick specialist. Ball swung in by Anajem. Too much on it. Too much on it to keep it in.
Surprisingly, there is a goalkeeper coming on. So you should know where he's going now.
Esperance maybe showing their hand. Just 3 minutes plus any stoppage time. There's not really been a major amount of stoppages in the match, so not expecting anything too enlarged. A couple more changes coming, and as mentioned, straight to penalties, no additional time. Lovely little touch. Esperance might finish this here. Rodriguez! Well, we spoke about penalties. They were about to bring on a goalkeeper. They may not need him. But I say that because suddenly the celebrations have been stopped for a moment. I think the flag has gone up. Now, this is when VAR will come into play, which says a lot when you think about the history of this fixture. I imagine it must be for the first ball through. He's offside. Oh, well. 2019. Wydad will never forget. But this time, VAR's working. And the linesman's decision, even though Rodriguez says it's only a little bit, a little bit is enough.
Yeah, you know, he's just trying to tell him he was a bit offside. He wouldn't dispute that. He was even not sure, because you see when he's called, he turned back to look at the linesman. The linesman's flag was down before he started celebrating, but after the linesman lifted up the flag, which is a normal thing. Great call by the linesman.
Wow, the real drama. Esperance about to bring on, it's clearly specialist penalty kick goalkeeper, the young Amenala Memish. And he will likely, despite the frustration and sadness in the stands, looks like he will now come on alongside Wael Derbali. Right, Bushniba, who started the first leg, going to head back on. They are sent on for one task only, surely. It's for penalty kicks. It was such a well-worked goal, but the point was that the player eventually played it across, had gone too early.
Yes, he went through early. I even saw it, but I was just waiting for the referee to make the decision of the linesman. He went too early.
Into stoppage time, end of the night for Moez Ben Sharifa. What a moment for young Memish. He's started this tournament. Most of their games this season, they went back to experience for Ben Sharifa. Memish wasn't in the squad for the Mazembe, and it's 7 minutes added on. Well, he was brought on for penalties, Memish. The 19-year-old may yet have to be busy before that comes around.
For me, no disrespect to him, but I think the change was too early. The coach should have waited for like two minutes to the end of the game, but not 7 minutes. I'm not saying they don't have confidence in him, but sometimes games are like that. When you want a goalkeeper for a penalty shooter, it should come like 2 minutes to the end of the game. But maybe 7 minutes, he needs to warm up and everything. So I agree with the coach.
It's all the gambles and decisions that coaches have to make. Atiatala lofts it in, headed across. Well, Sambu was waiting, well dealt with by Meria. It's a first touch for Memish. Real pressing from the captain Jabrani. He tucked out the play. It's a lovely ball. The first time we've seen Sao on it. He's got support, but maybe just isn't careful enough with the pass, and El Amlou does not just well, does brilliantly. And the ball forward really well, snuffed out by Onush.
It's a bit frustrating for Sao, because since the quarterfinal, he hasn't even had shot on goal, shot on target. And as a striker, he should be worried about himself. He should be worried, because a striker needs to get shot on target. And since the quarterfinals, I haven't seen him even having one shot on target. It should be very frustrating as a striker.
There might have been a chance. Well, I think maybe worried about whether it had been a head knock or something. So just stopping the play. There will be a change on the Wydad side. Anas Serrat prepares to come on. 27-year-old defender with the club since 2020. Apart from a short loan spell with Maloudia Ujda. And it's the end of the night. 22-year-old, but impressive performer. And Ahmed, well, I stripped the 50 minutes he managed in his previous substitute appearances in this competition. Now we'll have to join the sidelines and the nail-biting. They have a penalty shootout does indeed come about in just under 4 minutes' time.
Now Esperance is trying to defend the goal. Everybody's being cautious, and I'm sure there will be a penalty shootout. But anything can happen.
It may well happen here, but the ball in is going to have to be precise, and no real trouble for Memish.
You could see it's an upcoming superstar for Tunisian football, because the standing ovation he had when he was coming on, you could see he has the future. The fans have believed in him, the players have believed in him, and you could see they love him. He's the next big thing when it comes to goalkeeping in Tunisian football.
It says a lot there, obviously trying to promote him. He made 5. Teka gets a nice little touch on the spin. Esperance won a free kick, they're not going to get it. Memish made 5 starts last season in GYAN. He's already made 5 starts this season. Will he have to make a save, or will it just be from 12 yards? He is employed to try and get Esperance to the first African Football League final. It does look like it's going to be a 10th meeting between these sides that has not seen more than a goal between them. It's given away cheaply. Lovely little spin on it. Serrat want the ball in the box. Eluni lifts it in. Header up, but no trouble once again, and it's been neat and tidy for Memish so far. So is this the point when we see clearly the leg ahead of El Amloud? Clinical finish, but disappointment, an understatement for Tabet and Co. So is this the point when, as players on the pitch, your mind is starting to drift to penalties, where you've been putting it? Don't change your mind, these types of things as a footballer? I'm
sure they've trained for penalty shootouts yesterday in the training. The coach knows, and just in case.
Lunacem gets the break of the ball. This time he passes, but not with precision. Really good covering from Anush to the danger. Though it still remains now. Lunacem trying to link it back to Traoui. Oh, well, he took the touch and he doesn't like the turf.
Actually, he should have made the first touch. Just played the one touch in the box, and he decided to control.
We are heading to penalty shootouts unless something very dramatic happens. Goal for either side, send them through. It looks like they're going to have to do it through the lottery of penalties. The crowd hoping and praying. Driving run from Sao. It just shows too much of it to Atia Ala. Offers his apologies. Still might be something late and dramatic. Sambu gets a bit of a break of it, but there's the whistle. And we are going to penalty kicks. Well, Esperance were struggling for so long, but then they found that one moment of quality. Wicked delivery from, in particular, second half. Terrific Bugera. Rodrigo Rodriguez heading in. And with no Wydad response, it's ended 1 apiece on aggregate. That means it's spot kicks. What will be racing through the manager's minds now? Just making sure their players are calm and collected?
Yes, he wants to make sure the players are calm and collected. I think yesterday they trained on penalty shootout, which is a normal thing. Sometimes players play very good penalty at training, but in the games, for some reasons, they can change their mind, you know. So definitely they know who's gonna be the first 5 to have to take the kick.
The clock has stopped on play, but the emotions will certainly be playing out here in Tunisia. Madi Agrebi Stadium, soon to be witness to the spot kick drama. So this, another historic moment, the first penalty kicks of this tournament, the African Football League, and with it the offering of being the first ever finalists to qualify. We may have similar kind of fare in the other semi-final. 1-0 lead, slender one for Mamelodi Sundowns, but now facing a trip tonight in Cairo. Can Al Ali do as Esperance have? That man, the difference, he's just checking. Is he 1, 2 or 3? He doesn't seem to be sure. We'll wait and see. But certainly he had his shooting boots on after a brilliant header, tied it up. He looked to have scored the winner, only for the offside flag to correctly call a halt. So Wydad Casablanca reaching this stage after 1-0 away win in Enyemba, and then dispatching the Nigerians with a 3-0 second leg victory. And for Esperance, Tunis losing 1-0 to Tepe Mazembe, eventually coming through 3-0, Bugera double, and 2 Gai. The semi-final has been a tastier affair. 2 giants of North African football, 7 CAF Champions League titles between them. But 2 times they've met in CAF Champions League showpiece final, and on both occasions, in differing circumstances, Esperance have come out on top. Can Jabrani clear away the memories of 2019 as he awaits fellow captain Ben Sharifa? Was captaining them, but it was subbed off for 19-year-old rising star Amen Ala Memish, just 19 years of age. He's been trusted with going into this absolute pressure cooker as Ben Hamida takes over the responsibility. I think Esperance winning the toss. Jabrani still hopeful to take it to the other end. There seems to be a little bit of confusion. I think we're having a repeat. Trying to make clear who picked what. It's a little bit of theatre, a little bit of drama.
Yeah, maybe there's a language barrier there.
They seem to have sorted it out. The coin has made its mind up. And now Memish and his opposite, Youssef El Moti, will have to make their minds up whether to stay or go. How do you think it is for goalkeepers? It's a weird job because in some ways you're not the one in charge of the destiny, but you can be the hero. Exactly
what I was about to say. I always say goalkeepers just have 10% or 20% when it comes to penalty shootout. That is why they are the hero, because it's very, very difficult to guess. The ball is faster than the goalkeeper. You have to react, so that is where every time there is a penalty shootout, a goalkeeper becomes a hero.
Who will be the hero tonight in Rades? Well, the percentages certainly, as the referee making very clear, 1 foot at least must remain on the line. Goalkeepers are relatively comfortable with that rule now, and a bit of time to get used to it. So up first, Esperance, certainly on percentages, the team going first have had the advantage. So Meria up first, crouching El Moti. It's a fabulous penalty. He's been in good goal-scoring form this season. Perfect from the spot.
I think Maria has been excellent in this Esperance team. He's having a great competition right now, and today he was very, very busy with his passing. I think his style, he can be one of the best defenders because he's a very, very good player technically, and you can see how he strikes the penalty.
Certainly made the most of his opportunity from the spot. Now it's the captain who's stepping up. Jabrani against the 19-year-old Memish. The boos ring out, but that is not going to put off the cool and calm Jabrani. What a brilliant penalty.
It was a bit brave. The goalkeeper got there. He put the ball. The goalkeeper wasn't sure. You need the best penalty takers to have it first, and you could see he stepped up.
I think had he not scored or had the goalkeeper saved, it would have been retaken miles off his line. Jabrani made sure it wasn't even a question to be asked.
Exactly.
So one apiece, and here is the man who set us on course for this penalty shootout. Rodriguez thought he scored the winner before the flag and VAR confirmed it, but the Brazilian's been denied. El Moti stayed where he was and called the Brazilians bluff.
That was a great save, and that's what we're talking about. A goalkeeper can be a hero, and you could see his timing was great. The way he was so confident, I sensed he could be a very good penalty goalkeeper. He can be a good penalty saver.
You can see is Rodriguez trying to give him the eyes. If he did, it didn't work.
The timing of the goalkeeper was very, very great. Moti should be have that applaud for that.
Now, Wydad, can they make the most of this early advantage? This is a man who knows his way to the back of the net, and he does so again. Ayoub El Amloud, part of the Moroccan side, won on penalty shootouts. They're round 16 with Spain.
Now who comes next? He should feel that pressure right now, because he feels like if his penalty gets saved, then it could be over. So he should redeem his team right now.
This is what becomes so intriguing with the 5 picked and the order.
It's very important for Esperance.
A vital one as he comes up to strike and slots it home beautifully. Well, he was brought off the bench for this task, and this time Derbali did not disappoint.
And this time Moti got it right. You could see his timing. He got the right direction, but the ball was faster than him. He should be very good in taking penalties.
You do certainly get an impression when a goalkeeper is, even if he's not saving, the players know when they come up they've got to do something great.
Exactly.
It's that stress and strain that can obviously create horror moments. He's getting a lot of flashes from the pens, but it's not put him off. I think that ball would still be travelling if not for the net.
That was a great kick.
Absolute bullet from Abdel-Fat.
He surprised everybody the way he went through the ball, and then great shot, great direction, great goal.
Absolute thumper. As mentioned many times, the only defender not to score in that 3-0 second leg win over in Yemba. He took his frustrations out on the ball there.
They should keep scoring. Esperance should keep scoring. They can't afford to miss this.
That's absolutely right. El Moti, though, has looked comfortable. That is a fine finish. Another of the substitutes sent on. Ayed Bushniba. He'll cuddle for the goalkeeper to keep his spirits up. They're only one behind. Not at panic stations just yet, but it really, you can sense the tension growing and the fans desperate to see Onajem denied.
Now they don't have that pressure. The pressure will be on Wydad because they need to make it happen.
Pressure pendulum swings back to the Moroccans. Onajem against Mamish. 31-year-old experience against the 19-year-old wonder kid. There's only been one miss so far. It came for Esperance. Onajem can really put the pressure on. And he's done it with aplomb. Mamish shakes his head. Kiss for the ball though. Onajem says a few words. Has he maybe had one of the final words?
Now this is crucial for Esperance. They need to get it done to be in the game. Very, very crucial.
It is 4 from 4 for Wydad. That's leaving young and old in the red and yellow of Esperance feeling this moment, the tension. Cut with a knife. What a moment on the shoulders of Algerian defender Mohamed Amin Tougai. He cannot miss. The coach looks on Tabet as Esperance hopes on the line, and he at least does his job. I guess now it's down to Wydad, and at least he's done his job.
It was strange how he moved. The direction, the way he moved towards the ball was a bit strange with his movement, but that was a great kick.
It's the magic of penalties. If it goes in, it's a good one.
Exactly.
So it's 4 apiece. And it's the man who scored 13 times to take the top scoring crown of the Botola. Despite Wydad being pipped to the title, he scored 10 of those goals in the second half of the season. Already a few goals this campaign, although injuries again interrupted his season, and that's why he's only now making his appearances in this African Football League. But he could be the hero. Wydad, they've had so much pain here in Radez, but now just one penalty kick away from the potential African Football League final. And they've done it! What a moment! Mamish couldn't make a save. It's 5 from 5. Wydad saw Esperance hit back to take them to penalties. But in the end, Rodriguez's goal is only a footnote as Wydad write themselves into history. 5-4 penalties. Wydad Casablanca in the African Football League's inaugural final. Well, what a moment. Pain on the faces of the players of Esperance, but Wydad enjoying their moments, at least trying to. Penalty shootouts is such a dramatic occasion, and obviously there will always be winners and losers.
Exactly, penalty shootout. Anything can happen. You know, you can't control. Although you practice, you have players that have good penalty shootout, but sometimes even the best players can miss, which is a normal thing. So if your team loses in a penalty shootout, you shouldn't be worried. You should just keep your heads high and then think about the next competition.
Well, the emotions very much a contrast as Sambu silences those in the Amadi Agrebi Stadium. And it's Wydad who celebrate a fabulous penalty shootout victory. They are heading off to the final. Two-legged affair of which Wydad will host either Mamelodi Sundowns or Al Ali on the 5th of November. Sambu the hero Will he be back towards the starting 11 come the showpiece? For now, it's just thoughts of celebrating. They may be small, but they are making plenty of noise, the red wall of Wydad fans. And it got difficult when Esperance scored, but overall, would you say Wydad deserved their place in the final?
I think Wydad deserve their place in the final. Why? Because Esperance, since the beginning, they didn't.
Ramzi, félicitations pour la qualification. Un derby qui a tenu toutes ses promesses. Votre première impression?
اولا الحمد لله على التاهل. كما تنقولوا هذا the emotions is big. لي سونتيمون. الدراري تقاتلوا. الجمهور ديالنا. بالنسبه لي احسن مومون لحد الان في لاكارير ديالي. خرجت باش نشتغل باش نقرا في الخارج وباش نتعلم باش نجي للبلاد ديالي ونحقق هذا الشيء هذا. الحمد لله تنشكر كل اللي تعاون معنا وتنتمناو ان شاء الله نكملوها ونجيو الكاس ونردوا لهاد الجماهير مزيانه ان شاء الله.
Je vois beaucoup d'émotions. S'il vous plaît, un petit mot sur la finale.
بالنسبه للا فينال دابا كما نقولوا نتمتعوا بالفوز اليوم وان شاء الله تنتمناو اننا نكملوها بلا فينال. الدراري كانوا رجال الجمهور كلهم غادي ان شاء الله نشيبوا مزيان ان شاء الله.
Merci. deux joueurs ليه يعملوا انتونو joueurs من بعد بين ليه هو اوبليغاسيون ليه عندكم 10 minutes عايشكم لا 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 يكمل اللايف ومن بعد عايشكم والله اكيد عايش لحظه فابت نعرف خيبة أمل دربي أوفى بكل وعوده. شنو تنجم تقول بعد النهاية؟
الحمد لله على كل حال، قدر الله ما شاء فعل. نظن اليوم عملنا كل شيء بصراحة باش نفرحوا الجمهور اللي جاي الكل بصراحة. معناتها كنا عاقدين العزم إن قلت من أول الدورة قلنا عاقدين العزم إني باش نمشوا بعيد. اليوم معناتها خرجنا بلانتيات، معناتها هذيك الكرة معناتها عملنا برشا حاجات في الماتش باهية، بنينا فريق باهي بصراحة، فريق اللي يطمن الجمهور نتاعو. صحيح اليوم الناس كل حاولنا باش نروحوا الناس كل نمشوا للفينال ونكونوا فرحانين، لكن في الاخر هكا احكام الكره. لكن الفريق هذا تبناه بصراحه، بدا معناتها عنده حاجه معناتها شخصيه كبيره برشا، هاك شفتوها اليوم شفتوها حتى في اللقاءات اللي فاتت. نكملوا هذيك هي تو الكره معناتها جايه الشامبيونز ليج، كانها تحضير كبير للشامبيونز ليج. تمنينا لو كان نمشوا اكثر، لكن ديما نعتذروا للجماهير نتاعنا اللي اليوم جت باعداد غفيره، كنا نتمناو اللي تروح فرحانه. ان شاء الله عطينا اللي علينا، ان شاء الله تحملنا المسؤوليه وعطينا اللي علينا، والملاعبيه زاده ما بخلتش. ماتش شفته كان في طريق واحد، لكن في الاخر اللي تحسب شكون ترشح في الاخر، ترشحت الوداد، مبروك عليهم. لكن احنا زاد ربحنا فريق وربحنا جمهور معناتها كبير اللي معناتها عنده ثقه في الفريق نتاعو. ان شاء الله تواصل هيك ان شاء الله.
شكرا.
ان شاء الله.
So Esperance eventually finding a way to unlock the Wydad defence. But at 12 yards away, it was Wydad Casablanca who finally found joy in Radez, in the Olympic Ahmadi Agrebi Stadium. And they will be enjoying their night and trip back home to Casablanca ahead of hosting the first leg of the African Football League's first two-legged final. Well, Esperance Wydad, a fixture with plenty of history. Casablanca winning the first leg by a goal to nil. The first time they'd done so against Tunisian giants. Didn't fear too much from a first half that only really saw a couple of efforts, that one comfortably taken by El Moti. Then in the second half, they finally found the key. Rodrigo Rodriguez heading in after a terrific ball, whipped in by Bugera, and suddenly belief roared back to those in gold and red. Brilliant Brazilian header, and suddenly the tie was all square. Could someone find a winner? If not, penalty kicks loomed large. So a terrific, towering header in a match. Not too many clear-cut chances. Ben Sharifa was celebrating. He would later be substituted for 19-year-old Memish ahead of penalty kicks. That came after El Motti, to the post, had stopped Sassi's effort finding the net. So for 12 yards, the battle commenced. And then the first save, Rodriguez, the hero, before. Brilliant save from El Motti, who called his bluff. And then the winning penalty, 5 out of 5 in a 5-star away performance from Wydad Casablanca. They're going to host in the first leg of the first ever African Football League final. Wydad through. Esperance down. The Wydad fans will be celebrating all night long. So Wydad, the first ever side into the African Football League final. Who will they face though? Mamelodi Sundowns travelling to Cairo, themselves defending a goal advantage, but facing the Red Devils, a mighty task. But for now, it's Wydad Casablanca celebrated in Tunisia. They head home knowing their name has been inscribed on history. Can they now go on and become the first ever winners? A question for another day. Tonight, they celebrate. Thank you so much, and do join us later for the second semi-final.